What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. So excited to spend the next couple minutes with you guys as you jump on, hang out with my friends. It is Tuesday, September 7th, and today's a very, very special day for me. And I wanted to really give the top five lessons I've taken away, and it's not even the top five, but five lessons that I've taken away in the last 9 years. I'm gonna wait for a handful of you guys to jump on. I'm so excited. I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of people jump on this thing. I want to interact with you. Once you jump on, drop your name in the comment, say what's up, let me know where you are tuning in from. I see already a whole bunch of hearts. You guys are giving me love. I'm giving you love back. This is anniversary date for me, so I want to tell you a story, and then I want to basically tell you five tips that I've learned over the last 9 years since I've been on this crazy, crazy journey. So do me a favor, as you jump on, say what's up. I see Stephanie saying what's up. My cousin Alicia's on what's up. She's from LA, Los Angeles. I'm down in San Diego County, North San Diego County right now, near Oceanside, for all of you guys that are jumping on. So who else is on? Julie is on. Hiddleman, I love that. What's up, Julie? Where you at? What state are you at? What city are you at? So anyhow, you guys, there's been a lot of stuff. Jan is on. What is up? You guys share this video for me. Marissa is up. Julie is on. San Fernando. Oh, you just right up the street. You're right up the street, man. I guess I should say you were right up the street when I lived up in that LA area, but now, we're down here in San Diego. So a couple things happened, September 7th, 2012, very, very special day. What's up, Melissa Smith? It was a day, actually, I didn't intend on quitting my job that day. That wasn't my intentions. A couple months prior to that, I had an awakening. And if you guys have read my book, The 12 Shifts, when I call these awakenings, what I call them are shifts. And so I had an awakening. It was like, I liken it a lot, I'm like, I've always been a historian of the Bible. I wouldn't say I'm a theologian by any stretch of the imagination. I've just always been fascinated, more so by the stories of the Bible. And I remember, reading in the New Testament when I first started reading about Saul, who obviously many of you guys known later, started to go by Paul. But I always think about his road to Damascus story and him literally getting knocked off of his high horse and him being having this amazing experience to where he had an awakening. I also call this a shift. So in July of 2012, I had an awakening, a shift. Over my last 9 years, I understand why a lot of people don't do things that they know they want to do. I understand why people stay in terrible relationships or situations where they don't want to. I understand why people stay at jobs that are literally killing them. I understand why people, even if they're broke, why they continue to be broke, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I understand why a lot of people do a lot of things that don't serve them, because that's where I was for so many years of my life. And quite frankly, I still have those moments. We're all human beings. But on that day, I had an awakening that July. I went to a conference and I had, for the first time in my life, in my adult life, I had an awakening. I had hope. I started to see that there was a bigger life and a bigger future that was out there for me than what I was currently living. And so once I had that awakening, now I set a game plan. This is one of the things that most of us don't do. We know we want to make changes. First of all, we don't even make the decision to make the changes. But if we do make the decisions, we don't have a game plan or we have a shitty game plan. So I made a game plan that July, and part of that game plan, Garrett, was to leave my job. Now, I thought it was going to take me like a year to leave that job because I wanted to match my income. I had a part-time business going on. And in that part-time business, I wanted to take the time to build that business up to where it matched my full-time income. And so I didn't actually intend to leave my job for like another year. Well, a couple months went by, and that job was, I write this down. When usually for people who are as motivated as me, usually when you see something that is greater, you drop something that is lesser. One of the best things that ever happened to me was that July, I started to see how I could actually live my life. And honestly, there was nothing wrong with my job. My job just wasn't going to serve the way I wanted to live my life. They showed me what was possible. And once I saw that, that's all I could think about. I would go to bed and I would dream about it, right? I would be at work and I would be doodling about it. I would be driving, I'd be daydreaming about it. I would call up my mentor and I would just ask her questions like, hey, how long do you think it's going to take for me to be free? I would always ask questions like, hey, what do I need to do in order for me to be free? Hey, what would you say to me so that I could start living a life the way that I really wanted to live? Hey, what would you advise me? It was like this thing that wouldn't leave. And you know, Earl Nightingale, I remember when I first got into personal development, I knew I wanted to be an awesome coach. I knew eventually I wanted to create Think Life is Different. I knew I wanted to be a speaker. And so one of the things I started doing was studying all of these personal development greats and gurus. And Earl Nightingale said something to me back in 2013, and he says, there's the strangest secret in the world, Jamil. And I was like, Earl, what are you talking about, dude? He was like, no, there's a strangest secret that's not really a secret. And I was like, Mr. Nightingale, what are you talking about? He goes, Jamil, there's a strangest secret to success. I go, Mr. Nightingale, what are you talking about? He says, here's the deal. Whatever you think about the most is what will show up in your life, whether it's good for you or whether it's bad for you. And he calls this the strangest secret in the world. Just think about it. I remember even when I was broke, and when I say broke, I mean that in lots of different ways. When I was broken mentally and when I was broken financially, if I set a goal to do something, I met it, whether it was good or whether it was bad. Think about your own situation. Whatever you think about the most is what will show up in your life. And so as I started to just really think about being free, then that was all I could think about. So that day, September 7th, 2012, when I went to my doctor's office, I was going to Dr. Hendon's office in Long Beach, California, over on Bellflower and Stearns. And as I got out of my car and as I went on my normal path, and as I went up the stairs, and I was waiting to see my friend Adrian, who sat at the front desk, and I was going to talk to his medical assistants like I usually did, and I was going to grovel and beg for business, and I was going to sit there until he gave me the business, because if I didn't, then my boss would be calling me. And we had just gotten Salesforce.com, and I had to input all of the metrics, and did I get Dr. Hendon to actually, go on and refer more of our products, and did I reach my quotas? And I went to the door and I put my hand up, and something hit me. I had an awakening, and I put my hand down and I said, this cannot be my life. And I said, I would rather be poor than to spend one more day working for someone else. And let me just tell you, that decision right there, I have 5 sort of rules to live by that I want to share with you guys. I only got 6 more minutes. I got 5 rules, and that first rule is this. If you have big risk, then you will eventually get a big reward. Now, what I did that day, most people won't do, because they won't take a big risk. But they'll be sitting around hoping and wishing and praying that they're going to get big rewards, and it's not going to happen. These are the same people that's going to play the lottery. right? Would a $2 scratcher, little risk, hoping for a big reward is not going to happen. These are the same people that's not going to make big investments, right? Why? Because it's too risky. But they'll be sitting around praying, literally praying to God that they get big rewards. These are the same people that's going to be scared to ask that girl out. Why? They don't want to take the big risk. But they'll be sitting around literally on their knees asking God, would you please send that woman of my dreams to me? Not going to happen. Why? Little risk, little reward. You're going to get the girl that nobody wants. I'm just being honest with you. You're going to get the business that nobody wants. You're going to get the finances that nobody wants. You're going to get the life that nobody wants. Why? Little risk, little reward. And so when I said that day that I was willing to be poor than to spend another day not how I wanted to spend it, it's a big risk. No more income, no more medical, right? No more dental. No more somebody giving me a handout. Being in the middle of the ocean in a jacked up raft, needing to find your way back to shore. That's a big risk. But on the other side of it is big reward. So I left that day, and my friends, I don't know if you guys know Janelle and Eddie Copeland. They used to own these series of bakeries called the Cake Mamas. Some of you guys might know, up in Glendora, California. So when I left that day, I went back to the traffic circle where we used to stay, and I was thinking about what my next move was going to be. And the only thing I could think about was, let me go up to Glendora, which is like an hour away from Long Beach. Let me get a half a dozen freaking cupcakes and donuts, go visit my people, which I did. And from there, I drove to Carlsbad, California. And I rolled up my the pants, my suit pants. I took my jacket off. I rolled up my white sleeves, took my watch off, and I sat in the sand and ate a half a dozen of donuts. Now, if you are on my team or any of my clients or coaching partners, please do not do that. But that's what I did. And on my phone, I had the Pandora radio station of Drake playing all day long. And I sat there until the sun set. And it was the most blissful day that I remember having in my last 9 years. It was so awesome. One of the greatest sunsets that I have ever seen. And I felt free. I felt really free. And I realized that I did something that very few people are going to do. Because most people need comfort. Most people need a surety that's not a surety. Even though most people, a lot of people, a handful of people, the majority of people even lost their jobs last year, they still think that that's security. Even though they lost their jobs. They'll go back and still look for more jobs, even though they lost their jobs, thinking that that's security. The best security I have learned is the security you create for yourself. Let me say that again. The best security I have learned is the security that you create for yourself. It's the opportunities you create for yourself. It's the income you create for yourself. It's the savings you create for yourself. It's the investments you create for yourself. It's the team that you create for yourself. It's the wisdom that you create for yourself. It's the education you create for yourself. It's the knowledge you create for yourself. It's the mentors you create for yourself. It's the future you create for yourself. It's the life you create for yourself. It's the legacy you create for yourself. It's the passion you create for yourself. It's the desire you create for yourself. Best security. Best security. But like I said, step number one, big risk, big reward. It's just how it is, man. It's not just a saying, it's how it is. Guys, even if you like invest in, let's just say you invest in ETFs or you invest in mutual funds, wrapped in that investment is going to be different types of investments. You're going to invest in aggressive growth stocks, right? You're going to invest in some bonds. Yeah, you can invest in some bonds, little risk, little money. You invest in aggressive growth stocks, yeah. Big risks, big rewards. Big risks, you might lose. But damn, if you keep doing it, you're going to win. It's just ratios. So anyways, let me tell you the other four before I jump off. So number one, big risk, big rewards. Two, profits are way better than wages. Before, I spent basically 8 years of my life working for wages. I had nothing to show for it. Now, what we do is we earn profits in lots of different ways. Profits are always going to far outpace wages, and it's going to give you more time freedom. Number three, don't chase the birds. Listen, when you decide to chase your dreams and chase a life that you want, some people are going to get it, many are not. Many people are going to be eaten up by the birds, and you can go and chase the birds, but if you do, you're going to leave the field. And the magic happens in the field. I would write that down. The magic happens in the field. What do you do in the field? You keep planting and you keep sowing and you keep getting your ass to work. If you go chase people who don't understand, then you are leaving what makes miracles happen, and that is action. A lot of people aren't going to get it. In my early days, I would spend my time chasing birds. Now I do not. If you want to bounce, go bounce. If you don't get it, don't matter to me, right? If you get it, awesome, let's roll. But I'm not going to go chase folks that either don't get it, that aren't going to get it, that are committed to not getting it, are just not bright enough to get it. So don't chase birds. Number four, laziness and comfort is a disease. Let me say that again. Laziness and comfort is a disease. The way you get a lot in life is you give a lot in life. Those that give the most will receive the most. It is a law of sowing and reaping. Laziness and comfort means you're not giving as much as you can, which means you're not going to get as much as you can. The biggest mistake with being lazy and sitting in comfort is you do not grow. You do not grow. This, by the way, is why I could not work for somebody. Because I'm just going to tell you, most employees stay the same year after year after year after year, unless they work for someone like us who are really big in growth and development and all that stuff. But most people, year after year, they stay the same. And because they're only giving what they know to give, which isn't that much, they're going to keep receiving what they keep receiving, which isn't that much. And they're going to keep up with that until they're freaking 65 years old, can't even walk, having hip surgery and knee surgery. Now they can't even enjoy their lives, talking about retirement. When your ass could have just given a hell of a lot more and retired by the time you're like 42 and enjoyed another 20, 30, 40 years. So laziness and comfort is a disease. Number five, build something. Before I wasn't building anything. I didn't have anything to leave. Build something. Build a business. Build a life. Build a team. Build a brand. Build a library. Build some books. Build something so that you can leave behind. Build something. If you're going to spend all day working, why are you not spending all day building something that's yours? Whether it's a dream, a goal, a house, a business, a team, something, anything. Most people go to work, they come home, they watch TV, they play with the kids, they get up, they go to work, They come home, they do the whole soccer thing, they go to work, they get off, they come home, do the whole gymnastics thing, go to work, come home, and on the weekends, they might have some fun, go to church, come home, go to work, come home, do the football thing. It's this revolving sort of cycle over and over and over again. And they look up, and again, they're 65 years old, and they haven't built anything. Nothing's been built. The way you have massive success is you learn to build something, and then you learn to give it away. So it's been an amazing 9 years. I'm excited to see what happens. I've evolved a lot, even from a year ago to now. I've evolved a ton. Even a year ago, I was a semi-impressive guy. I've evolved so much, even from what I've done in the last 12 months, who I've become. So in 2022, I'm so excited to see what version of Jamil I'm gonna be a year from now, when I for sure do another video. If you want to see the video I did last year, go to my YouTube channel, Jamil Frazier, and you'll see the video I did last year. But even, when I do the same video next year, I'm gonna be really interested to see how much I grow in the last 12 months, how many more people we can help, how many more things I build, how many more books I write, how many more people I serve, how much better of a dad I am, the team that we build. Are we going to build out Think Life is Different? So many cool, how much we're going to give. I'm taking my team to Naples in Florida at the end of this month, and I partnered with a great organization there. I'm giving this organization tens of thousands of dollars to do what they're doing, right? Like, I would have never been able to do that before. We give so much. That's what I love about us. I was talking to my son earlier today, and I was just telling him, we were talking about profits are better than wages, but I was telling him, in our other companies, whether it's our real estate company or even Think Life is Different, I've never used that money. I've given the large majority of it away. So again, that's the law of sowing and reaping. I told you, the way you become really successful is you learn to give a lot. But most people, me before, I was only thinking about myself. How much can I earn? What's my family gonna look like, right? What's my time freedom gonna look like? The way you become ultra successful is you start thinking, how can I help them be better? How can I help them put food on the table? How can I help solve their problems? How can I bring them more value? How can I help them accelerate? How can I help them elevate? How can I help them reach their goals? Totally different philosophy. Love you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, share it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy 9 years. And before I jump off, I want to thank 5 ladies that have made such a tremendous difference in my life. 1 is my mom. 2 is Becky Flamong. 3 is Linda Relorta, my college professor. 4, Karen Elstrom, my business coach. 5 is Kim Fisk, another business coach of mine. These 5 ladies have literally helped me change my entire life. 6, I got a 6 in there, I cannot leave her out, is Cassandra Mangan, who's my best friend's mom, who sort of took me in under her wing for years and years and years. 6 ladies have made more of an impact in my life than anyone else. There's no men in there. This is why I have such of a fondness for women, because these 6 ladies were the ones who stepped up and stepped in. I've never had a man even come close, but I aspire to be that man for millions before I die.